Hey, it's Drip and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. I do this for all of my videos because I don't have any acoustic treatment myself. Now, these techniques aren't better than having acoustic treatment because that gets rid of the problem at the source, but acoustic panels are pretty expensive and sometimes you have to work with what you've got. Nevertheless, the processing that I go over in this video will definitely improve the quality of your vocals. All right, let's jump in. All right, so here we are in the project. I've got the audio for the intro right here. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to put an Edison on the mixer channel that the audio is routed to. So you can do that by hitting Control E, and I just want to drag this audio into the Edison. Okay, and now the first thing I'm going to want to do is highlight a section that doesn't actually have any audio. So something like this. Okay, and as you can tell from right here, this is just noise. So I'm going to right click this little toothbrush right here and it's going to acquire the noise profile. Okay, so you want to zoom all the way out and highlight everything, and then you're going to want to left click that same button and it's going to pull up this little window. You can adjust the threshold and the amount to the way that you like it. I know that these settings are good, so I'm just going to hit accept. Okay, and as you can see right here, it has reduced the noise. So now we're going to pull this back into the playlist. All right, and now we have a denoised version. So I'm going to mute the original. Okay, and now I'm going to route this denoised version to the mixer track that we have all of our processing on. Okay, and I'll just go through these plugins one by one and explain what each one is doing for you. Okay, so the first plugin we have is a noise gate. And what a noise gate does is it has a threshold. This line that says open right here is the threshold. And anything below the threshold, the volume is going to get cut out. It's only going to play everything that goes above this threshold. This close line right here is a window below the threshold, and everything within this window is going to be gradually reduced in volume down to 0 instead of being immediately cut off. That way it gives it more of a fluid, a more natural sound. All right, so we looped a section right here. Now let's see what it sounds like at this default position. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Okay, that sounds pretty good. It doesn't look like any of the audio actually dipped below the threshold until right at the end. So let's just kind of go right to the end and see what that sounds like. Treatment, in this treatment, in this treatment. And as you can see, whenever I stop talking, the volume cuts to 0 in a smooth way, and it sounds pretty natural to me. So let's go ahead and move on to the next plugin. Okay, next in this effects chain, I've got a compressor, which is just going to be reducing the dynamic range of the vocal and just thickening it up a bit, right? So I'm not doing anything too intense with this. I've got a ratio of 2:1. I've got the release set as fast as it can go, and the attack is set to 3 milliseconds, and the ratio is set at 6 dB. So let's see what this sounds like. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Okay, that's with it. Here it is without it. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Okay, so you can tell that it's thickened up the vocals quite a bit, but it's also made the vocals pretty boomy. But we're going to fix that later down in the processing chain with some EQ. So I think that compression sounds pretty good where it is. So let's move on to the next plugin. Okay, the next thing I've got in this processing chain is a Transient Shaper. I'm not actually adjusting the attack on this Transient Shaper, but I'm reducing the release, which actually reduces the decay time of the natural reverb in the room. So let's hear what that sounds like. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Okay, that's with it on. Let's see what it sounds like without it again. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. You can still hear the reflections in my voice, and there's not really much that you can do because the reflections are baked into the audio, but this reduces the decay time essentially of the reverb and makes it just a little bit tighter, which is good. Be careful with this release knob though, because if you crank it down too far, it'll start to sound unnatural. So there's a bit of a sweet spot with this release knob. Okay, moving on to the next plugin, I've got a de-esser, which just catches all of the S's and T's, all of the sibilants in my voice. So we don't want to reduce it by too much. I think the most I'm getting is probably like 2 or 3 dB of gain reduction, but I just want to tame those S's and T's a little bit. So here it is with the de-esser. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Yeah, see, so it's not actually even engaging the de-esser very frequently, but just whenever I hit those T's and S's, it just barely tames it a little bit, so it's not so sharp. Okay, and next up we've got an EQ, which is going to be shaping the tone of my voice. So right here, I'm rolling off the bass frequencies, and I'm cutting a pretty good chunk out of the low mids to kind of even out the frequencies in my voice. Let's hear what it sounds like. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Okay, and here it is again without the EQ. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. Yeah, so as you can tell, the EQ helps a lot with cleaning up this vocal. There was just way too much low end information. So whenever we cut all that out and lowered the low mids, it really improved the clarity of the vocal overall. Okay, and the last effect I have in this effects chain is just a limiter, and this is just to catch any peaks that go above 0 dB. I don't want anything to be clipping whenever I bring this into Premiere Pro. So this is just a safety net to make sure that I'm not clipping the audio. All right, so that was basically all of the plugins. Now let's see what it sounds like whenever I turn all of them off, and then let's hear what it sounds like whenever they're all engaged, and we can see how big of a difference this processing chain actually makes on the vocal. All right, so this is with none of the plugins. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to clean up your vocals whenever you're recording in a room with no acoustic treatment. I think that makes a huge difference, and it really has improved the quality of the audio. All right, there it is. I hope you can take this method of cleaning up vocals and apply it to your own recordings so that you can have a cleaner, more professional sound to your music, videos, and podcasts. As always, if you'd like a free EDM sample pack, you can follow the link in the description, and that'll take you to my website where you can download that for free. And until next time, stay busy producing. Peace.
Mistaken, I'ma rise in disguise. I'ma make that earthquake, that's no lie, no surprise. I am the main dish, you just fries on the side. People looking